Hey guys, so in this video I will be making connections of childhood development using psychoanalytic theory of James Joyce's A Portrait of an Artist as a Young Man. Joyce writes his book almost like a timeline, so that's how I plan on making these connections, like almost like a mental timeline. I will be analyzing Stephen Dedalus, and I will start by categorizing his life into three parts. First, starting with religious development. And this is like the childhood for him, and this stage binds Stephen around his parents and religion because that's the only thing he knows, and he hasn't really been real to the real world. This soon drives him away from religion later. Next will be intellectual development. This is where Stephen is a teenager around this stage, where he centers his life around the written word rather than sacrament or religious instructions. We will open with his religious stage from the beginning of the book. I will mention some important influences along the way, and these are his parents, religion, country, women, and his vocation as an artist. So his first influence is his parents, who have a certain standard for their oldest son, which is to go to school, go to church, get married, and have kids. He even believes it as a kid whenever he thinks he's going to get married to the girl next door. Her name is Eileen. But this standard is drawn on by their economic stance, which is also an influence because they are rich. And also, Stephen doesn't really care about money at this point, but that's what drives his parents at that moment. So in the meantime, I will be making a checklist on the bottom right-hand corner of these influences, the second one being that he goes to boarding school. And it starts with a C. I'm not sure how to say it. We're just going to call it C school. But it's his first experience of separation and neglect as a kid, which always sucks. And so this school kind of creates a moment of negative personality traits, which can really affect him later in life, which isn't that very great. But this all is drawn... he's just going to end up not really liking religion. He's kind of iffy about it, but this is all drawn on by a black disease-ridden puddle that he falls into later during his time here, and he gets really sick, and everybody just doesn't believe that he's sick. And all of these priests say that he's not sick. Anyways, so the next influence is Parnell, who is a political figure at the time who is condemned from the Catholic Church. This causes his family to fight about it during Christmas dinner, which forces him to realize what politics actually is. Stephen, the next influence is the unjustly punishment. This is where Stephen is punished at school by Father Dolan because he believes that Stephen lied about breaking his glasses. And he punishes him by severely hitting his wrists. This gives him his first instance of humiliation and shame, and most certainly physical pain. This is where religion to Stephen starts to seem not so cool. Going back to his family's economic standpoint, which is that they have to move again. Well, the first time they have to move, because his dad had to get another job in the suburbs. So this starts bitterness towards his dad. Now we are entering the intellectual stage, where Stephen now goes to Belvedere, and this is when he kind of notices that he's not really like the other kids, and that maybe he's different. Okay, so far the same. Hasn't changed, except for the fact that he's met a girl, and he might be depressed, but he's also met this girl on a train, so it's all good, except for the fact that, he doesn't really talk to her, but it's like he actually gets the first time urge to write, and he actually writes to her. Her name is Emma. And it's almost like true love, except, 2 years later, it's not really true love if you haven't said anything to her, so it's kind of creepy from a girl standpoint. Oh, dear Lord. Okay, so this is the next influence, is whenever he goes to Cork with his dad, which becomes terrible because he's actually super drunk or hungover, but either way, he's embarrassed his son in front of some of his old influences, and so he's lost respect for his dad, and it's just really humiliating. And also, his girl, Emma, hasn't yet talked to him or congratulated him on his performance during a play, so he just wants to feel wanted. But he kind of falls victim to lust and falls to the prostitutes.